All right, buckle up. Nature nerds. We're diving headfirst into the Amazon, the world's wildest, weirdest, and most important rainforest. How many of you are ready for an adventure? Sound off in the comments. If you're a wildlife fanatic, a nature lover, or just curious about the wonders and occasional dangers hidden in the rainforest, smash that subscribe button. Get ready to meet the top 20 largest and most noteworthy residents of the Amazon, ranked by size, mind-blowing adaptations, and their vital role in this life-giving ecosystem. And if you dig learning about nature's awesomeness, give this video a thumbs up. Let's do this. 20. Green anaconda. We kick things off with a legend, the green anaconda. This isn't your average garden snake. It's a scaled titan, one of the heaviest snakes on the planet. These incredible constrictors can stretch over 23 feet long. That's about the size of small car, people, and tip the scales at over 600 pounds. But here's the mind blower. Those measurements are just from the anacondas we've found. Can you imagine the absolute units lurking unseen in the Amazon's waterways? This apex predator, with known natural enemies, is a force to be reckoned with. Its signature move? Swallowing prey whole. It can even dislocate its jaws to chow down on animals way bigger than you'd think possible. Now, a friendly heads up. If you stumble upon an anaconda with a midsection bulge the size of a bowling ball, give it a wide berth. It's probably digesting a serious meal and won't appreciate the interruption. While they're found on land, in water, and sometimes even in trees, the good news is anacondas generally avoid humans unless provoked. Respect their space, and they'll respect yours. They're vital for keeping the prey population in check, and that helps the whole ecosystem thrive. 19. Arapaima. Next, we're plunging into the murky depths for a peek at the Arapaima, one of the world's largest freshwater fish. These impressive beasts can reach almost 10 feet in length. But their size isn't the only thing that'll blow your mind. They're practically armored tanks. Their scales have a hardened, mineralized outer layer and a corrugated surface, kind of like corrugated cardboard. This design gives them incredible protection, almost like natural plywood. Despite this fortress, these fish are surprisingly flexible. Oh, and here's a weird fact. For freshwater fish, they need to surface to breathe air. This unique adaptation lets them thrive in oxygen-poor waters, but also makes them vulnerable to human activities. 18. Giant river otter. Now, let's shift gears and talk about a species whose bad luck is sadly man-made. The giant river otter is one of the world's rarest animals, hanging on by a thread. These aren't monsters. They're victims of our past mistakes, and a stark reminder that even powerful animals aren't immune to our impact. These otters can reach up to 6 feet long and are incredibly social, living in tight-knit families. They're not aggressive, but their valuable pelts made them easy targets for hunters. The false belief that they depleted local fish populations led to their persecution. But here's the deal. These otters pose no threat to humans. Conservation is key to their survival. And remember, protecting them helps protect the rivers and streams they depend on, which benefits everyone. 17. Jaguars. Of course, the Amazon wouldn't be the Amazon without its apex predator, the jaguar. Unlike other big cats, the jaguar is a purely American masterpiece. In fact, it's the third largest cat on the planet. Jaguars are typically lone wolves, preferring to stalk their prey solo. Unlike lions, which often hunt in packs, jaguars rely on stealth and brute force. They're also surprisingly awesome swimmers, making them deadly both on land and in the water. With their sleek bodies and powerful jaws, they could take down prey in the blink of an eye. Running into one in the rainforest is something you definitely want to avoid. These majestic cats are essential for maintaining balance in the ecosystem, keeping the herbivore populations under control. 16. Harpy eagle. Among the Amazon's crazy bird life, one reigns supreme in raw power, the harpy eagle. As one of the largest eagle species on Earth, this bird is a top-tier hunter and a truly jaw-dropping sight. These eagles hunt with insane speed and precision, snatching prey with their razor-sharp talons. If they're fast enough, their prey never even sees it coming. Each claw can exert hundreds of pounds of pressure, enough to crush bones and instantly kill. Harpy eagles can live up to 35 years, making them long-lived rulers of the Amazon skies. These eagles aren't a major threat to humans, but giving them space is a must. They keep the monkey, sloth, and other tree-dwelling populations in check. 15. Amazonian manatee. Okay, this animal might seem out of place on a dangerous list. Calling a manatee a monster is a huge stretch, but they face a critical threat that lands them on the endangered list. Amazonian manatees live in freshwater rivers and lagoons in countries like Colombia and Brazil. They're gentle, slow-moving sea cows that pose no threat to humans. Sadly, they are often hunted for their meat and blubber, pushing them closer to extinction. Also, their populations are tough to track, making it hard to figure out their real numbers. Habitat loss and degradation are additional dangers they face on a daily basis. Supporting conservation efforts and shrinking human impact on their habitat is vital to keeping these gentle giants safe. 14. Giant anteater. For ants and termites, the giant anteater is public enemy number one. Whether it's a threat to humans depends on your perspective. They can grow as big as a golden retriever. What makes them special is their incredible sense of smell, said to be 40 times stronger than a human's. That helps them pinpoint ant and termite colonies with ease. But here's the cool part. Anteaters don't wipe out entire colonies. Ants bite. Instead, the anteater feeds for about a minute at each colony, then moves on, ensuring a sustainable food source. It's a fascinating balance. 13. Electric eel. You can't explore the Amazon without talking about the electric eel. This shocking creature can deliver a serious jolt, but it's not quite the menace you might think. The electric eel lives up to its name by generating a charge of up to 650 volts. That's more than your wall outlet. Some speculate that the voltage can get as high as 800 volts. This shock can stun prey and deter predators. While it could be dangerous to humans, it depends on the situation. They're not true eels, by the way, and rarely attack unless provoked. That said, being fully submerged or having pre-existing conditions could make a shock more serious. So, exercise caution. They use this electricity not only for hunting, but also for navigation and communication. 12. Giant stingray. Next up is the giant stingray. These guys are massive, but their danger comes more from carelessness than pure aggression. Mostly, these stingrays are chill and prefer to be left alone as they cruise through the rivers. The biggest one ever found was in Asia, over 13 feet long and weighing over 660 pounds. The stingers on these stingrays are not toys. Their toxins can hurt humans, causing serious pain, but they're not aggressive. Leave them alone, and they'll likely leave you alone. Give them space, and you'll probably avoid any unpleasant encounters. These stingrays are critical to the ecosystem as bottom feeders, helping keep the riverbeds clean. 11. Giant armadillo. If you get jumpy easily, you might find the giant armadillo a little unnerving, but you shouldn't be truly afraid of them. They're mainly on this list because of the word giant in their name. Giant armadillos can grow up to 40 inches long and weigh up to 120 pounds. They mainly eat termites and ants, often eating entire populations of termite mounds. This makes them a more persistent hunter than the average anteater. Their strong claws also allow them to dig burrows, providing shelter for other animals in the ecosystem. 10. Tapir. While you probably don't think of the tapir as a monster, it's definitely an animal to be aware of when visiting the Amazon. Tapirs have roamed the earth for millions of years, hardly changing over that time. The tapir has remained mostly the same for millennia, which is why it's often called a living fossil or a primitive animal. But don't count it out. They can be pretty big and heavy, weighing over 880 pounds. Although big cats and crocs often prey on them, they have tough hides and a strong bite. Tapirs are key seed dispersers in the rainforest, playing a vital role in keeping plant diversity up. 9. Capybara. If you're calling the capybara a monster, you might need to rethink things. I mean, they're rodents, but they're pretty awesome rodents. You can even keep them as pets. They stand around 2 feet tall and often look like they know something you don't. The capybara is the largest rodent in the world today. Even New York City rats don't compare. Water is essential for capybaras. They eat aquatic plants and grasses and use it to escape danger. They're also super social, often living in big groups. Their chill and adaptable nature lets them hang out with a bunch of other species, making them a popular friend to many of the Amazon's inhabitants. 8. Amazon river dolphin. While dolphins are usually ocean creatures, they thrive in the Amazon River. These Amazon river dolphins, also known as bottas, can be pinkish in color and reach lengths of up to 8 feet. Experts think their unique color comes from blood vessels near the skin and what they eat. Unfortunately, humans are often the biggest threat to these amazing creatures. Amazon river dolphin populations have declined due to human activities like building dams, pollution, and getting tangled in fishing gear. Thankfully, there are ongoing conservation efforts to help protect them, including protecting their habitats and using sustainable fishing methods. By supporting these things, we can help make sure this iconic species survives. 7. Red-bellied piranha. The red-bellied piranha is a famous Amazon resident, often painted as a terrifying predator. But movies and TV exaggerate them a lot. First of all, red-bellied piranhas aren't usually a big threat to humans. When it comes to food, they're actually omnivores, not just carnivores, often eating plants and fruits. In fact, they're sometimes called vultures of the water because they prefer to scavenge for dead or dying animals. Also, piranhas usually feed in small groups, not the huge swarms you see in movies. Piranhas are important scavengers, helping to break down organic matter and keep the waterways clean. 6. Green iguana. The green iguana might seem like it doesn't belong on this list, but there are a lot of ways something that seems harmless can become harmful. Even though they're not aggressive, these are some of the worst invasive species in North and South America. Remember, Florida is the nesting ground for invasive species, and these green iguanas are one of those animals. They're so invasive that there are even jobs that delicately kill and remove them. Their ability to rapidly reproduce and adapt to new environments makes them a big threat to native ecosystems. Knowing the effects of invasive species is vital for protecting biodiversity. 5. Golden poison dart frog. It's rare to hear about frogs as dangerous, but the golden poison dart frog is an exception. You should never, ever touch one. Their bodies make an incredibly deadly toxin that covers their skin. If a predator even thinks about attacking, the frog can deliver a deadly dose of poison just by touch. Oddly, it's not fully clear how the frog is immune to its own toxin. It's likely evolved some kind of immunity to make sure it can emit the toxin without hurting itself. As for why it's called the golden poison dart frog, native people of Colombia learned about how deadly the toxin was and safely extracted it to put on the tips of their darts. As a result, they could take down prey of all types just by hitting them with the tip, which shows you how deadly it is. If you're ever on the Colombian side of the Amazon rainforest, don't even think about touching any golden frogs. How toxic these frogs are shows how complex chemical defenses have evolved in the rainforest. 4. Goliath birdeater tarantula. How is it that we're this far into the list and are just getting to spiders now? Spiders are often seen as scary, and the Goliath birdeater tarantula is no exception. I'm getting a little nervous just talking about it because I have to look at video footage of it. It is one of the largest spiders in the world in terms of mass and can be up to 5 inches long and weigh about 6.2 ounces. But the funny thing is that it honestly doesn't eat birds all that often, although it has been seen eating things like hummingbirds before. Its large size and impressive fangs are more often used to subdue insects, worms, and other invertebrates. This shows how important it is to look past the name and know the real role of creatures in their environment. 3. Black caiman. The Amazon is a perfect place for crocodilians to live and thrive. Well, yes and no. Yes, it's the perfect place for them to dominate the local wildlife. But I'm not talking about alligators or crocodiles. Instead, the black caiman is a crocodilian. The black caiman is the biggest predator in the Amazon ecosystem, and it can potentially take down any animal in its range, including other predators. The fact that the caiman is so strong that it can take on anyone and anything in this massive rainforest should give you pause. Oh, and the black caiman will absolutely attack a human and has attacked humans in the past. What probably makes it one of the most effective predators on this list is its dark skin tone, which lets it blend into the local waters. It hunts at night, meaning that it'll camouflage perfectly with everything around it and can sneak up on its prey without them realizing the danger nearby. They will grab their food and drag it into the water and let it drown before slowly consuming it, which is just very efficient, really. No matter what time of day, you should always be wary of the waters that the caiman lives in because you'll probably never know where it is until it's simply too late. The black caiman's place as the apex predator shows the intense competition and survival issues inside the Amazon. 2. Spectacled bear. There are actually bears in the Amazon rainforest, and the spectacled bear is the only species that's native to South America. Seeing one is really special. People have mixed feelings about the spectacled bear because it's a bear. It's technically an omnivore and doesn't actively get aggressive toward people unless provoked, but people have still hunted them out of fear that it may go after their livestock. Thankfully, some conservation efforts have been made to protect this bear from being hunted. They mostly eat plants, fruits, and insects, and they play a key role in seed dispersal in their environment. To protect them, we need to address the conflict between humans and wildlife and promote sustainable land management. 1. Candiru fish. I decided to leave the candiru fish for last because of the tail it's often associated with. This isn't a fake fish, it's real, and it can be very dangerous to certain creatures. It's a parasitic fish that latches onto fish through their gills and feasts on their blood. They can grow as large as 16 inches, but they can also be much smaller than that, which lets their bodies literally worm into host bodies so that they can do their thing. But here's why it's famous. Local legend says these fish could infect humans by swimming up the urethra. It was rumored that they would ride the stream from their urine as they went in the river and then get into their organ until they were fully inside the body. The legend became so mainstream that people began to fear this fish more than any other predator. However, there have actually never been any confirmed cases of this happening, so you probably shouldn't worry that it will happen to you. Scientists don't think it can happen because it's scientifically unlikely. So that's all from the great beauty and majesty of the Amazon and all of the various creatures that live inside of it and why they're so interesting. This legend, while probably not true, shows the fear and fascination that the Amazon can inspire. And that's a wrap on our exploration of some of the Amazon's most incredible creatures. I hope you love this ride into one of the world's most vital and amazing ecosystems. Which of these animals blew your mind the most? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. I read every single one. Before you split, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the natural world. And ring that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. You might also love these other videos about wildlife and conservation. Thanks for hanging out. And let's work together to protect these incredible creatures and the rainforest they call home.